You are good money. All right, we about to get started. Let's go. What's good? What's good? What's good? You are tuned into Apartment 5B, hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me in effect today. As always, ladies first. Angie, what's going on, miss?
I'm doing good. How are you?
No doubt, no doubt. Good looking for making the time. My brother Ev.
Peace, peace.
York, LA, he's everywhere, worldwide. Every time I talk to him, he like, oh yeah, I live there too. So I can keep up with where you from. Ev, what's good, brother?
I'm good. I'm peace. How are you?
Yo, just quick question. Is the NPC over there in the back?
Is it what?
The NPC, the drum machine.
It's sitting actually in the middle of the dresser here because of its richness and its purity to the culture.
Okay.
Right in the middle where it can be seen. It's not on the floor.
Okay.
Speaking of, where's your MP at, Kill?
My MP is right here.
Oh, you got to pick it up off the floor? Oh, on the floor again, huh? Oh, damn.
I'm sorry, Ev. What drum machine are you using right now?
Oh, well, actually, right now, you got me on that. I've been giving Kill a hard time for a very long time.
For a very long time. How about years, big?
Yeah. So now I'm switching over, but I'm still in that like transitional period with the machine MK2.
Right. Okay. I'm just making sure because you gave me hell when I gave up on the MP and with the machine, but neither here nor there. I just want.
I didn't throw it on the floor. That's all I'm saying. I ain't put it on the floor.
It's not thrown on the floor, but neither here nor there. My man Penny out of Manhattan. What's going on, good brother?
What's good? Everything good, man. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
I'm happy for y'all. Y'all know me. Let's get right into it. So look, the other day I'm thinking of highlights. My man was like, yo, I know you're a big AI fan. What are like your top 5 AI highlights? And I'm like, oh, the time he crossed Jordan, and oh, the time he crossed Antonio McDyess twice and made him fall twice. So we all as fans of sports usually have highlights that are our favorite of our athletes or whatever like that. So I was thinking, what are the highlights of our top 5 GOAT MCs? You know, what I mean by that is like, what was a line that, you know, that this MC said that just had you stuck? Like, you was just like, ooh, like, yo, I don't believe you said that. Like, you know what I mean? So it could be a bar, it could be a couple of bars, not a whole verse, but just something that made time kind of freeze for you for a second. So the dope thing is we'll be learning who everybody's top 5 GOATs are, and we'll be hearing 3 of those bars. Angie, why don't you set us off? Ladies first. Who you got up as one of your GOAT MCs? Where are they ranked? Why? And then what are their 3 bars?
Okay, so are we doing all 3 of each MC at one time, or
yeah, you can do all 3. You could grab an MC and just do all 3 bars and what can stand out for you.
Okay. So my top 5 always kind of switches up a lot. It just depends on my mood, and because I go back and forth between, like, you know, the 90s and 2000s and then like the current stuff. But of course, the first one I picked was Nas. And then the 3 that I picked was from Halftime. I like, and I'm a Nike head, I wear chains that excite the feds. Like, when I was young and I heard that, and I used to be like a big sneakerhead, so I think that's probably why I like that bar.
Oh, I apologize. Used to be. I mean, you did just post some Iversons that I ain't never even seen before. So.
Right. I know a lot of people. I wore those when I went to New York last year, and everybody was like, "Where did you get those sneakers?" Like, because a lot of people don't see that colorway. But yeah, I like the questions. I had like 4 colorways in those shoes. So.
Dope. All right. So what's another 2 for Nas?
This one everybody kind of says, but never put me in your box if your shit eats tapes. From New York State of Mind, and the last one was from The World Is Yours. The Fiend of Hip Hop got me stuck like a crack pipe.
All right.
Those are my 3 from Nas.
Now, what about those 3 stood out to you? I get the Nike head because you were sneakerhead. Other 2, why was those are the highlights?
I mean, because like the tapes, that one's kind of just like a given. And then the one about being the Fiend of Hip Hop, I always kind of like that style because Rakim does it a lot too. Like, when they just kind of make little drug references like that, but they're talking about something that's hip hop related. I don't know. I just kind of like that little kind of formula when they just talk about like fiends, but it's about like the microphone and stuff like that. So those are the reason why I like those bars.
All right, dope. And y'all know me, I always got to treat us something. So, and you'll appreciate these anniversary Reebok joints, 10th anniversary Iversons with the box, fresh,
Oh, nice.
fresh out the gate, never even been worn. These joints are still crispy and clean.
Oh, I used to have the orange ones in high school.
Yeah. One of my favorite pair of sneakers, my AI 10th anniversary special joints. All right, Ev, what you got up for yours, good brother?
Well, I did mine a little differently. I may not necessarily have 3 different sections of a verse for each MC. So I just kind of like, I was just pulling out, you know, the ones that are always like quotables for myself, as things that really stand out. My first one is from Nas as well. But I have 2 from Nas, but I have one that really stands out. And this one is from Verbal Intercourse. And he says, smoke a gold leaf, I hold heat nonchalantly. And that verse was always super dope for me because just it was the visual of that. Like, just like, yeah, man, like, you know what I mean? I got this, you know, it's such a dope visual. And I feel like Nas, you know, has a tendency to just every once in a while to give you just a little flash, a little scene in front of your eyes that you just, you know, and I mean, of course, he's a master with wordplay. So that was one of my top ones with Nas, which was Verbal Intercourse. Do I have to explain why Nas is in my top 2? Is that what you're saying?
No. Did you have any other bars? Anything else from Nas?
The only thing I mean, I have something, but it's not as prevalent to me. But it was a Sneaker Uzi on my island, Sneaker Uzi on the island in my army jacket lining. I just always thought that was a dope, you know, the dope way of like saying like, yo, I'm bringing a gun, like to refer to Manhattan in that way. And to refer, like, you know, because everybody had the army jackets back in the day, and you always knew you had that little. If you zip it, unzip it, you had that little like section in the front that you could stash something. So just the idea of him doing that was actually kind of, you know, it's kind of dope.
That's dope. Penny, who you got up for your first?
Man, so I did it a little bit, also a little different, because I just had a really hard time narrowing it down, man.
Right.
To just one bar. So my greatest of all time is Rakim. So
indeed.
I would, if you don't mind, just a few without even saying the lines. The honorable mentions would be, you know, the 7 MCs for my melody, fourth verse. When do you hear that anymore?
Remember, everybody tells Penny, everybody tells.
But there's a few one-liners that really just stay with me forever.
No. I was saying the funny thing is, you say, when is somebody giving you that? Everybody tells me the new generation doesn't have the attention span for 3 verses.
Yeah.
You know? So,
yeah. No. You cover that. Yeah. So to me, something like on I Ain't No Joke, write a rhyme in graffiti, and every show you see me in, Deep Concentration always hit with me because I was a graffiti writer, and just to think, like, how could you come up with aligning those 2 things together? But it just sounded so sweet to me. Line like I've ever heard in my life. I hold the microphone like a grudge. I don't think I've ever heard a line hard, like really harder than that. It just really paints just the picture of like who he is, like at the moment, holding a microphone, like there's no way you're taking this. So the one that I had difficulty breaking down is Follow the Leader, because there's so much in there, man, that just hits me all the time, like every line. But just 2 subject matters in 2 different verses. Y'all can hear me okay?
Yeah, you break up a little bit, but yeah, you good.
Oh, okay. The two little bits in different verses that he follows with the word follow, when the first one is, let's travel at magnificent speeds around the universe. What could you say as the earth gets further and further away, planets as small as balls of clay? Straight into the Milky Way, words out of sight, far as the eye could see. not even a satellite. And then he says, and I turned around and look, as he stared in the darkness, your knowledge is took. It's just incredible. He painted the whole picture of the universe in a rhyme, in a few lines.
Right.
And then in the next verse, when this always, I remember this, it always stays with me because he always says, when he questions, when, then after that, I live forever. You disagree? You say never, then follow me. And this always like stays with me. From century to century, you'll remember me in history, not a mystery or a memory. Combine nature, mind raised in Asia. Since you was a trick, I had to raise you. This stays with you for a lifetime, man. I mean, I still like, it just comes up in my mind sometimes. So that's Ra for me.
All right, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. I'm like Ange and Ev. I'm setting everything off with Nas. The line that actually made me think of this show was like, and made you look when he said, "Don't say my car's topless, say the titties is out." Bruh, I dropped it. I was like, yo, did this dude just say, don't say the car is topless, say the titties is out? Like, I was like, yo, I give up. I give up. Like, if I was
super witty.
Right. If I was MC, I think I would have just burned my notebook. Like right there. Like, I think the nigga just said the titties is out. I'm done. The craziest thing is I'm banging Jim Jones's El Capo album, and he's got a line where he uses that. He says something like, you know, I'm uptown with the car with the top down, the titties is out like a porno flick or something like that. And I'm just like, that was crazy witty to me. The next one is the first time I heard Nas when he said, when I was 12, I went to hell for snuffing Jesus. Like, I remember I was at City Hall substation, the subway station in Philly, listening to on my Walkman, and I heard that, and again, I was just floored. I don't think up to that point I had ever heard a line that crazy before. It was ill, it was crazy. Keep in mind, I wasn't even raised in the church, but like in the hood, you still have respect for the church. You'd be cursing with your peoples, and then you get in front of the church, y'all be like, chill, y'all, we in front of the church. Like, so there was years I wouldn't even say that line. I'd be like, when I was 12, like I wouldn't even repeat that line because I was like, yo, this dude just punched God's only begotten son in the mouth. Like, yo, this dude is crazy. And then I remember the next time I heard Nas was Baby Search's Back to the Grill. I'm waving automatic guns. I'm like, yo, is this nigga devil worshiper? Like, go with this dude. Like every time he rhymes, he has this line that's something about God, but it was just crazy. And then my last one is similar to what Ann said on New York State of Mind when he was saying, yo, I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. Like that right there. And I mean, I used to always teach that to my daughter because anytime she was with me, she was holding my hand. And as she started to get older, she's like 3 and 4 now. She's like, Daddy, I don't want to hold your hand. I'm like, yo, you want somebody to snatch you? Yo, sleep is the cousin of death, my nigga. Like, get up on your stuff. Like, so like that. And you know, whether it's the line that Ann said, you know, don't put me in your box if your shitty tapes. Like, yo, how many times did you have to do surgery on a cassette tape, you know, because it popped? Whether it's that Stretch and Bobbito tape that popped, whether it's a tape off from the store that popped. So it's just, these are lines, like you said, man, that just never go anywhere. So that's it for me. Angie, who's your next up in C?
All right, but before I say that, I was gonna pick that one too, and then I was trying to switch it up because I feel like I didn't want to pick the ones that are so obvious, but. Anyways, moving on. My second one was Big L. These are a little more straightforward. Obviously, it's, you know, he was like the king of punchlines, like, and I like his delivery. I like his flamboyant style. So the 3 I picked from him was from Put It On. I like the bar. I smash like mics like cornbread. You can't kill me. I was born dead. Like when I heard that one, I think a lot of people were like. Just like, you know, when he said I was born dead. And then the other one was from the 7-minute freestyle where he said, I'm so ahead of my time. My parents haven't met yet. And the last one was from Let Him Have It L. And it was, I knocked out so many teeth. The tooth fairy went bankrupt. So it's just like, I loved his wordplay. Like I could quote so many things from him, but those were just like a few where it's just the way he delivers it he'll say something and it just
Yeah.
yeah. I don't really need to say a whole lot about him. I think everybody just knew like he just had a way with words that you're just like he was just really good at what he did, and all those bars like they would just stick in your head and you just hear people quoting him over and over again because it's just how it's real catchy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, one of my favorite L lines, and I always said, I was like, yo, one day I'm gonna live like this. He said, I forgot, I don't know what song it is, but he said, yo, something we don't take luggage with us. We go shopping when the plane lands. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, that's the illest. Like, yo, just to imagine, like, yo, so we going to Jamaica, we ain't even bringing no bags with us. We'll just go shopping when the plane lands. Like
somebody like a newer artist did a similar. Somebody said a similar bar. They probably got it from him because it was almost the same exact thing. It was about yeah. I remember hearing somebody else say that, like almost the same exact line. They might have just tweaked it a little bit.
Right. It's funny because comedians, I've got some homeboys who are comedians, and they say that happens a lot too, where people will bite your jokes, you know what I mean, and try and use them in a different way. So it's similar to MCing. It's funny chopping it up with them. That's very similar to MCing, where it's like they may not take the whole joke, but part of it, or try to flip it. But yeah, L is definitely a dope choice for that. Ev, who you got up next, good brother?
My next one I got up, and this is in no particular order. My next one I got up is Rakim. I only have one for Rakim. Again, I was just the stuff that really that has always stood out to me. The stuff that I kind of just easily went with. But Rakim says something in Know the Ledge I thought was just really profound. He said, "Streets ain't a place for innocent bystanders to stand." Now, to me, that verse is so dope because the whole idea of being an innocent bystander is being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So his flip on that was like, you're not supposed to be there at all. You know what I mean? You know, if you're an innocent bystander, you shouldn't even be there. So I just thought it was a dope way to again, it's a nice play on the word, play on the execution of it. And it always been one that kind of just stood out to me. Right. There's a bunch of other ones in Know the Ledge, but that was the one that I really I gravitated to it first.
Tell me this, what about Know the Ledge? Like, is that a top 5 rock song for you?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah. I think everything from that beat to his delivery, the way he just rides that bass line is ridiculous. And everything that he's saying, like he the fact that it's part of the Juice soundtrack just makes it even more dope. But he just he paints a picture. And the thing about Know the Ledge that I love also, it was one of the things that was just like a trifecta because the video was dope.
Oh yeah,
it was a dope track. The song was dope, and the video was dope. And you got a chance to see. It was one of the times when you got a chance to see Rakim, and kind of he had kind of not that he revamped himself, but he was a little different than the Follow the Leader Rakim. But he was still his pen to me had actually gotten even better, which was is this even possible for this cat? But his pen actually got better. So yeah.
Yo, it's crazy. I think one of the illest things about that song was it's setting off the movie Juice. I remember being at the movies up at Cheltenham Mall when Juice came out, and it's that's the first thing you hear is that, sip the juice. And the other thing to me that always stood out with me about that song is at the time, I didn't know what Southpaw was. I didn't know anything about the art of boxing. So for years, I just switched to Southpaw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't until later when I really got into the sport of boxing and really understanding it was oh shit, he's saying in the middle of the fight, I'm a switch to Southpaw. I was just
break the ratio. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's just the fact that it's stuff that years later people still got to catch up to. So yeah, that's
and then the title of itself too.
What's the BPM on that record, bro?
What'd you say?
What's the BPM on that record?
I don't know. I would say 92, 94.
Nah.
Like that. Nah?
It's not 100 something.
Oh, I don't know.
It's so fast and beautiful, man. That's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Penny, what you got up next, good brother?
Oh, my number 2 is the Blastmaster KRS-One.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, Chris has deep lines. He tells crazy deep stories. He does, I said about Chris is in his live show, he'll freestyle about anything and something, just nothing. But to me, what stands with me is some just dope lines. One of my favorite openings to a song
Benny.
Now, when this that sound like Shano, the one my league, and the rest is history, right?
Hold on for a second, Penny. You broke up for a minute. Would you say again?
Oh, wait, which part?
Nah, we didn't hear nothing.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
You went blank
Yeah,
for
it went
like
dead for a minute.
8 seconds or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have been going back to me, but I was hoping I wasn't going blank. How about now? I'm good?
Yeah, you good.
Okay, I was doing the intro to The Bridge Is Over. You see me come in at D-Dance with the Swift SNC, down with the sound called BDP. If you want to join the cool boy, you must see me. You can't sound like Shano, the one my league. I mean, that set off history right there. I love that. To me, another, like, I had to concentrate on songs, you know, because there's so much. My philosophy. You got to have style and learn to be original. And everybody's going to want to diss you. I mean, that's like, put that on that's like biblical verse right there. And the opening lines on the verses there, the opening lines, I played the 9 and you played the target. And how many MCs must get dissed? I mean, that's it. And I also wrote down a verse from Gimme that I just love a lot of things he says on there, but mostly that. Let me see, what's that? I'm known as the teacher in rapping. Some need slapping because what they're saying is whack and weak and wait. Let me speak. Don't be a sucker coming into my face with that yay, or you'll be down with the Che gang. I love that. That keeps playing in my head over the years. That's Chris for me.
Yeah, that's dope. That's you gotta have style. That's one of mine, but I'm gonna put Chris on mine because, like you said, that's biblical right there. Again, no particular order. I got Jay up next. This line is from a song. A lot of people, it's funny to me that claim they Jay-Z fans and have never heard this song, which is amazing to me. But it's Brooklyn Go Hard. And he said, I father, I Brooklyn Dodger them. I jack, I rob, I sin. Amen. I'm Jackie Robinson. Except when I run bass, I dodge the pen. And the craziest thing to me is that y'all know I'm a producer, so I'm always listening to beats. I know the rhymes. But it probably took me a couple of listens to be like, yo, I jack, I rob, I sin, Jackie Robinson. Like, even though he made it very clear for you, because right after that, he says, I'm Jackie Robinson. Again, y'all know I'm not always listening to lyrics like that. I thought that was just a slick wordplay of like, how do you even, I jack, I rob, I sin, I'm Jackie Robinson, except when I run bass, I dodge the pin. So when I'm running bass, when I'm moving this coat, when I'm moving this coat,
that's dope.
But I'm making it sound like I'm a baseball player. When I run bass, I dodge the pin.
That's dope.
Like,
he's the master of double entendres. Master of that.
I'm just like, yo, like, again, come on, y'all. Like, and I'm not even the biggest Jay fan. I mean, I respect him for what he does, but come on. Another one of my favorite rhymes, I always say it's a lost cause nowadays, how people set off their rhymes. If I shoot you, I'm brainless. But if you shoot me, then you famous. What's a nigga to do? Off the streets is watching. Like, I don't know a doper way to set off a song. Like, that's so true. It's like, yo, if you hear Jay shoot somebody, you're going to be like, yo, why would you give up everything like for something like that? So if I shoot you, I'm stupid. But if you shoot me, then you're famous. You wear that on your sleeve. I shot Jay type thing. So I thought that was crazy. And again, like we said with all these MCs, there's hundreds. There are going to be people watching this show like, why didn't you say this? Or, again, these are stuff that speak to us. He says, in Can I Live, I'd rather die enormous than live dormant. That's how we on it. And it was just like really listening to that line like, yo, I'd rather die rich than live and be broke almost. Like, it's just so crazy. And then it's crazy because somebody a couple of weeks ago I posted something on Twitter about this scene on Little House on the Prairie with Todd Bridges. And he was saying how he hated being a nigga. And I never watched Little House on the Prairie, but I'm assuming this was the father. And I don't know how, neither here nor there. But Ty Bridges ended up asking him, you know, everybody wants to live long in life. But let me ask you this as a white man. Would you rather live to be 100 as a black man or live to be 50 as a white man? And the father couldn't even answer the question. You know what I mean? So it just made me, those two lines just connected for me from that clip, because it's like, yo, I'd rather die dormant. Like, I can't live broke. I can't live not being able to have anything, you know, than live enormous. So like that line always stood out for me. And I got one more. I know I said 3, y'all, but bear with me. When he says in God, what song is this? Can I Live Again? He says, Viva Las Vegas, later see you at the crap table, meet you by the one that starts a G up. This way no fraud willies are present gambling they re-up. And we can have a pleasant time sipping margaritas. Like, I'm starting at a G. I'm starting at a G, because I don't even want to play with you little wannabe drug dealers with y'all re-up money. I'm starting with a G. We ain't playing. If the table ain't a G, we ain't starting nowhere else. And it's just Jay's mindset. And this is being recorded in 95. You know what I mean? So again, that's Jay for me, man. And just some of the ones that stood out for me. And give me another one, miss.
Okay, I do have Rakim in mind. Like, I'm like you, it's not in any particular order, but from How to MC. So if the mic is your grind, then biting's a crime, especially if a ghostwriter's writing your rhymes. So I really like that line right there. And I think, you know, I write, like, aside from all the blogging and all that stuff, like, I basically was like a ghostwriter. I just never did anything with it. So that kind of caught my attention from all that. Because that's what I was doing that when I was probably like 15, 16 years old. Like, I was winning poetry contests, and then I used to write raps and just have them like in a book. And, you know, everybody talks about the ghostwriter stuff. And I Know You Got Soul. When I'm writing, I'm trapped in between the lines. I escape when I finish the rhyme. I like that one too, because that's how I feel like when I write, you know, it's all that stuff about being a writer. So that's why those kind of lines kind of stick out to me, because that's something I do. And then just from Follow the Leader, I just kind of like the reference, how he said, pull out my weapon and start to squeeze a magnum as a microphone murdering MCs. That was just like, that's a catchy line too. It's almost similar to like what I said about like the whole drug concept type thing. Like when they could make a comparison to like a weapon or a drug, but they're referencing it about like the way they rap or something, or about the microphone, that kind of stuff. It's just, I like that style. So that was my 3 for Rakim.
That's dope. That's dope. Another ill thing about Rakim, because me writing scripts and writing too, it wasn't a rhyme, but some interview people said, ask Ra, he was like, yo, what do you do when you get writer's block? And he was like, I just go out and live some more. You know what I mean? And it was such an easy answer, but it's like, that's it. Like, just go out and live some more. Like, if you spend a day in Brooklyn, and I ain't talking about gentrified Brooklyn, I'm like, spend a day in the projects, you will see some shit. Like, anytime I'm working on a script and I get writer's block, this is what I do. Here's a treat for everybody. Try this. Guarantee, bet money this will give you some more stuff to write about. I find the most hood Popeyes in DC. I go there and I eat lunch and I just air hustle for 2 to 3 hours. I come up with characters. I come up with names. Any writer's block I had, I leave a hood Popeyes with so many ideas. Like, it's sickening. So try it. There's a freebie for y'all. If y'all writers, y'all get writer's block.
That's me. I just went through that a couple of days ago. A write-up took me a few days to do, and I had to hit them up and be like, I'm a little bit behind. I was like, with everything, I just got a bunch of stuff going on, and I felt like I was literally getting a writer's block. And it was a project I really liked, but my focus wasn't there. I wasn't able to, so.
I'm telling you,
funny you mention that.
Try it. Go to a hood Popeyes. And I know it's different. You're writing reviews and stories versus me writing a script, so I'm looking for characters and stuff. But it's like Rakim said, if you just go out and live a little bit more, sometimes you get trapped in your day by day. Like, just go catch the train, catch the A train from point A to point B. Trust me, you are gonna hear something. If you're air hustling enough, your writer's block will come through. So that's something that, like I said, Rakim always helped me with that line. Ev, give me somebody else, good brother.
Okay, next on my list is Jizza the Genius. And I actually don't have 3 separate bars. I'm just gonna give you his section from Guillotine Swords, which I thought was probably the best Jizza verse I've ever heard. The nigga don't get mad. I got mad styles of my own, and it's shown when my hands grip the chrome microphone. Double entendre was just ridiculous right there. Verbally, I catch bodies with cordless shotties. Intriguing MCs, I keep them trained like potties. I bomb facts. My sword is an axe to split backs visible like dope fiend tracks. Guys, to split backs visible like dope fiend tracks. Sky's the limit. Niggas are timid, and nobody knows how we move like wolf in sheep clothes. Producing data, microchips of software. Underground or off air, the land of the lost. Notorious henchmen from the north, striking niggas with a Mason-Dixon line cross. That verse is always going to be my Jizza go-to. I feel like the verse itself is flawless from top to bottom. There's no sleepy time sections in it. It's just it bangs as soon as he hits it. And to me, like, it's a perfect ending for that particular track. And it's just so interesting that being one of my favorite Jizza verses is not even on his actual album. That's on, Liquid Sword. I mean, the Purple Tape.
Purple Tape.
Yeah. So, yeah, Jizza. I mean, I feel like he's, one of the sickest. He's, to me, that's my top Wu MC. He's always been my top Wu MC. I feel like his wordplay. I feel like his mind, the way he thinks when he writes, is definitely scientific. It's definitely mathematical. And because of that, I'm a huge fan. So, he's a genius.
No doubt, no doubt. Penny, who you got up next?
That verse is crazy. Yeah. I mean, next up, I believe that's me. Big Daddy.
Penny, you breaking up again, bro.
He's the first dude, even. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what to do.
No, that's cool. It's cool. It's coming back. You back. Just keep it going.
Okay. All right.
Who was the person again?
So, to me, Kane.
Kane.
Oh.
Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah. Okay.
Big Daddy Kane is my third of my list. I'm actually going in order of my top 5. So number 3 is Kane, and it's hard to pick. There's a lot, but I start with the first song that had me in my room breaking the rewind button, and that's Raw. RAW. I mean, one of the illest intros to any verses is "Here I Am, RAW, a terrorist, here to bring trouble to 40 MCs, move on and seize and just conquer, stop another rapper with ease. Because I'm at my apex and others at below, nothing but a milliliter, I'm a kilo." Woo! That like stands with me. A couple other lines from that song. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely just one-liners. I mean, because there's a lot of punchline. Like every line is really full, right? To me, with Kane, like you can just take one line out, and that line is dope. Let's see. 24/7 chilling, killing like a villain. The meaning of raw is ready and willing. That line right there is also. And then Set It Off.
Ooh.
I mean, the intro to Set It Off. I mean, that's just
that alone. That alone.
That's all I got, bro.
Yeah.
Let it roll, get bold. I just can't hold back. Oh my goodness gracious. I mean, another line that always sticks with me from that song is "Supreme in this era, a reign with terror." Nobody was saying shit like that, man. I just got to say one line from one thing from Ain't No Half Stepping, because it's my favorite line I think of all time of anything. I think it must be. So the best, or yes, I guess suggest the rest your fest don't mess or test your highness, unless you just address with best finesse and bless the paragraph I manifest.
Rap
rhyme minister, some say sinister, non-stop in the groove until when it the climax, then I max, relax and chill, Have a break from a take of me acting ill. This is my favorite line of all time. Brain cells are lit. Ideas start to hit. Next, the formation of words to fit. At the table I sit. Make it look legit. And when the pen hits the paper.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. That's it.
Yeah, Kane's a monster. Kane's a monster.
Yeah.
The next up, I got Big, who's my number one. So many, just from Unbelievable. You see, I smoke a lot. Your life is played out like Kwame and the fucking polka dots. The first time I heard that, I was like, damn, this dude like it just stood out to me because it's funny because if you watch any interviews with Kwame, it's kind of like after that, dude was dead in the water after that. Like this dude Big just ruined somebody's career just for the hell of it. Like he ain't have no beef with Kwame or nothing. But it was like after that, it was like, dude was like a disease or something. Like nobody knows that's Kwame. What's up?
Wasn't that like years after people was dissing him? I mean, nobody was really dissing him at the moment.
Well, yeah, and that's what I mean. Like Kwame was,
I mean. He just came back.
It was so like out of nowhere, like
out of nowhere,
right? You know what I mean? Which is crazy.
Yeah.
From kicking the door, fuck that. Why try throw bleach in your eye? Now you're brailing it. Yo, when I heard that, I was just like, throw bleach in your eye. Now you're braille. Yeah. My joint off a long kiss. You still tickle me. I used to be strong as Ripple B, till little C triple me. Now I play hard like my girl's nipples be. Again, I'm just like, yo, come, y'all gotta stop with this. What do you say on my downfall? Watch my niggas bring the riot. Giving cats the opposites of diets. You gained 30 pounds when you died, no lie. Lazy eye, I was high when they hit me. Took a few cats with me. Shit, I need the company. Like, yo, you need the company. Like, you dying, so you gonna shoot a couple other people just because you need the company, just for the hell of it. I just think with Big, he just had this flow that just felt like for the hell of it. What is this from the Benjamins? Listen close to Francis, the praying mantis, attack with the Mac. My left hand spit, my right hand grip on the whip. For smooth getaways, player haters get away on my lead will spray. I mean, again, it's Big. It's just so many, but those were just some of the joints that always stood out to me. Ange, give me another one.
I got Sean Price on mine. I just like a lot of elements about Sean Price.
Okay.
Before I say them, it's just I like a lot of things about him. Like I like how he could incorporate humor in there, and I just like that aggressive like confidence that he has. He's grimy, and like sometimes I'm in the mood for that, and just like overall he just had a lot of elements about him, like that he's just it's not hard to understand why he's like a favorite to people. It's just like the way he says a lot of things. So one line was just like really short. It was from Peabody. And it was just a disrespectful bar, but I liked how he said it, where he said, R. Kelly, your verse when I spit on your 16.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's foul, but like when you're in the mood, you're like, run that back. So
good.
And then this one was like funnier to me, from his joint Mess You Made, and it was how you gonna be broke and your last name Price. That's like sweating bullets and your nickname's Ice.
Yeah.
I liked the way that one was. That was funny to me.
That's a dope song.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just from another, I guess this one's from Peabody too. Just like the aggressive stuff he has when where he said the left hook will shatter your chin, similar to Daryl Dawkins when he shattered the rim. Again, it's just like the way he delivers things and the way he says it, you're just like, whoa. So those are my three from Sean Price. Rest in peace.
No doubt. Sean Price, man, it's so many, and he's an MC that like I really missed. Like he was one of the few MCs
right.
from the
You
90s.
felt that when he passed.
Yeah.
It's like,
yep.
Yeah, it's like he's one of the few MCs from the '90s that whenever he had something new out, I was always hyped for it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It wasn't about no. I feel like a lot of times it's like somebody from the old days put something out. We want to be respectful. Like I'll listen, but nah, with Sean P, he was like, nah, there's some new P coming. Oh, I'm good. Like, I'm
Right.
And Sean P was one of those MCs that actually got better with time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
MCs kind of lost their pen, but he actually got better with time.
I was gonna say that I really think Rockness Monster brings out the best in him too. Like when on the track King Kong, it's just like their chemistry. It just seems like a lot of his best stuff, like aside from a lot of his solo stuff, like on Monkey Bars and all that stuff, it just seems that when him and Rockness are together, he really brings out like the best in him. That's like really what I think too. So
yeah,
as
they should, as he should. They've been together for so long, so seems it's only right. Yeah.
Dope pick, very dope pick. Ange, who you got up next?
I got up my man Pharoahe Monch.
Oh.
Okay. Just here we go. Now this particular verse is actually not on the Pharoahe Monch album. This is on the De La interlude. I forget the De La album. I forget which album it was. Not Bionics, but I forget which one it was. But it goes, take a bullet for X in the ballroom and then vanish. Extinguish the sun when I drool. Play pool with the planets. That right there, to me, I just stop on that right there. Like the Pharoahe has a way of painting a picture that to me is just like it's unparalleled sometimes. And his again, I'm always about the play on words, how you put it together. Pharoahe is a master of breath, though. His breath control is infallible. Like he has so much control over his delivery, which makes him also so dope. Because then he can add so much in there. For somebody to be asthmatic and has that type of breath control, it's like he really needs an award for that shit. That's one. My next one is this is off of the Equinox album, and this is a song called E Vitro. This particular verse, though, is not about the actual wordplay. It's how it's delivered. And I think another thing when we talk about MCs, and sometimes I don't like saying stuff on here because people be biting our shit. But sometimes I hate doing it, man. But I can't talk about this verse and not talk about this thing, and that's cadence. A lot of times we don't talk enough about cadence when we talk about MCs, and cadence plays a big part. So on E Vitro, he says there's a section he goes, where the fuck do I go from here? Because when the afterbirth disperse, it's hard to persevere. But you really have to hear the actual track and hear the way he delivers it, because there's so much power and passion behind those words. And it really sets the theme for you. So yeah, that's another one. I have so many Pharoahe joints. I'm not going to go all into them. Actually, I got one last one. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to say this as best as I can. This particular verse is off of What It Is, off of the Desire album.
Yeah, so, What It Is. Woo.
That first of all, that whole track is just ridiculous. But this particular verse, and this is almost like a riddle trying to say this thing. More like sunshine and one line in your mind to remind you of when you were 9 before you were busting cherries and wasn't necessary to grind them. Now, sound like you're saying a lot of shit. But when you hear it inside the actual track, it's ridiculous. And then he ends with, and we all are not grizzly. It's fucking. Pharoahe is like one of my top MCs. I feel like he doesn't get enough clout. I feel like he has some disciples out there, some students out there that's not giving him the credit due. There's some people that kind of just kind of adapted his style and kind of made it their own thing. But I feel like Pharoahe, man, he's another one that just like his thought, the way he thinks and the way he writes is kind of crazy. I saw this thing one time and he talked about how he writes a verse. And he was saying, I'm going to do this so much injustice, so forgive me, but it was something to the effect of he'll go and he'll look at a bunch of words and then he'll grab one word and then he'll use that word to start a thing with, but he'll break down the syllables. It's some kind of crazy shit. I'm doing it injustice. If you find this online somewhere, and I think it's just it's definitely a thing to MCs, to like lyricists. It's some study. If you're a lyricist, I would definitely say study Pharaoh because he's ridiculous.
Thank you for bringing up the cadence too, because I bring that up a lot in my writing. Like it has a big impact on.
It has a big impact.
Because I hate when stuff sounds like offbeat or like it just doesn't mesh well. Like somebody could be putting real like dope words together.
Exactly.
And the cadence, like it has to be in tune with the beat. Like I don't like when it just sounds off.
It
like,
has to be.
I think that's people don't. You're right. A lot of people don't talk about that enough. But I know I say that in a lot of my write-ups. So.
Yeah, no, they don't. And I wish they talked about it more. I'm gonna throw this in there because we're talking about cadence. Just real fast, this joint right here. Going back to Chris, he has a track on this joint on the B-side called Wordplay. Again, it's not that the actual words is the verses are so crazy. His cadence through that whole thing, Chris he masters the shit. He masters the shit. So that's another track to check out. It's called Wordplay. It's on the B-side of the MC. So
yo, I got
Joe. You have so many flows, man.
What happened, Penny?
Chris has so many flows.
So many flows.
Yeah. So many flows.
Yeah, Ev, to jump on that Pharaoh bandwagon right quick. One of my favorite Pharaoh songs. You got me with that What It Is joint. Like What It Is to me, just because I don't even like the beat. It's one of the few songs where I don't like the beat, but the lyrics are so incredible. And I still love the song. Like that's one thing about What It Is. One of my favorite joints is Desire.
Oh, Desire.
Who am I? I'm the poetical pastor, slave to my label, but I own my master. You'll get it popping without artists and repertoire. Because Monch is a monarch, only minus the A&R. Like, it was like, yo, you gotta be kidding me.
You really have to read his verses as you look, because he's saying so much and it'll go over your head because there's so much in there, but it makes perfect sense. Yeah.
And how he sets the second verse off with, my book is an ovary, the pages I lust to turn, my pen's the penis, when I write the ink's the sperm.
Yeah.
Like, yo, come on, man. Stop. Just stop.
It's ridiculous.
Just stop. Totally off topic, because there are times when I want to throw my machine out the window. Well, not my machine. I would say my MP back in the days, because now not too many producers fuck up my mind like that anymore. But when you hear Pharaoh, you being an MC, have you ever felt like from any time that just you've heard something, you be like, I'm done, like I can't achieve this status, or does that make you work harder? Like when you be an MC and you hear these bars, like did you ever just be like, you know what, like just crumble it up? Like
actually, it's the second thing. It makes me go deeper, and hearing Pharaoh makes me realize like you can't half step. Like if you're going to sit down and write a verse, sit down and write a verse. Like don't sit down and just put some rhyming words together and and put a little voice on it and be like, yo, that shit is banging. No, sit down and actually really write a verse, because Pharaoh is like, he's like a painter the painter who a lot of their masterfulness is in the detail. His details are ridiculous. His details are they're so good. They're so good, and they make the actual whole canvas just extreme. So for me, when I hear Pharaoh, it makes me, one, you got to be careful, because you don't want to, if you listen to something too much, you wind up imitating it. So sometimes I got to walk away from Pharaoh. I was like, I got to leave it alone, because I don't want to sound like him or write like him. I always got to go back and go to my own style. But it definitely makes me want to go like, make sure that when you're going in between those bars, in all those words, everything has to connect, and it has to mean something, and it has to be about something. Don't half step. Don't just get through it real fast and think that it's cool because maybe your last verse was dope and everybody loved it. This is what I love about Pharaoh's, because he doesn't live off his last work. Every piece of work is always something new.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Penny, who you got up next, good brother?
Cool G Rap.
Ooh.
So yeah, again, where do you go?
Where do you go?
I mean, I always start a Man at Work.
Yeah.
That joint, man, messed me up when I was a kid. Man, I listened to this joint so many times. I needed to understand every single word what he's saying. The way he sets it off. Deadly rhymes, here's a solution. Smoking so bad, I'ma cause a pollution. With satisfaction, bad assassin, fatal attraction, chop you through improper fraction, ill insanity, kill like Amityville horror as I wipe out humanity. I mean, I'm messing it up, obviously. I've been messing all these legendary rhymes up, but I love that one. Rhymes are rugged, soul flooded, cold blooded. You ain't better, you butter, so just shut it. He's just so incredible. I wrote down here just the symphony, his symphony verse, the whole verse. Just, I mean, I'm not even breaking it down. That's it, really, for G-Rap.
All right. If I can just jump on that G-Rap bandwagon for 1 second. G-Rap says something when I remember being a young kid, like teenager pride, and the name of the song escapes me at the moment. Y'all gonna kill me when I, because I know it's like a popular one, but when he goes up, up, up to let him know, because I don't play clown. But
Think that we go on the way
down.
Yeah.
That picture was like, damn, not just throw him out the window. You want to shoot him on the way down too? Like, damn.
Yo, I forgot an honorable mention.
What's that, Benny?
Honorable mention to G-Rap that I couldn't say even if I wanted to is one of my favorite songs of his is Talk Like Sex.
Oh, brother, please. Come on, bro.
Come on, man. That every single line is like a ill, sick, nasty, funny punchline. Every one.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. I love that song.
The one thing I will tell people out there,
it's nasty as hell.
Everybody who's watching as children, please talk
for the ladies.
Please talk to your children about sex, because if you don't, hip hop will teach your kids about sex. Because I learned about sex from G-Rap's talk. And that's not the way you want to learn about sex, boys and girls. If you have children, please, by all means, have the talk with them before G-Rap does. Because that's how I learned. Next up, I got Rakim. For Microphone Fiend. First of all, Microphone Fiend had me stuck from the beat. That's one of my favorite beats ever of all times in hip hop. That guitar lick, it just had me stuck. But when that mofo said, after 12, I'm worse than a gremlin, feed me hip hop and I'll start trembling. I get how somebody now in 2019 would not see how that line is so incredible. Yo,
I picked that one too.
Yo, at the time, Gremlins was still popping, and you understood like after 12, like you don't feed no gremlin. You had to rule. But when it was just like, yo, and then you feed me hip hop and I'll start trembling, like that's my drug, and it's like that's what I related to. It was like, yo, have a good day, I'm listening to hip hop. Have a bad day, listen to hip hop. I'm happy, listen to hip hop. Sad, like hip hop was like a drug to me. So that line always stood out for me. Eric B is president. You scream, I'm lazy. You must be crazy. Thought I was a donut. She tried to glaze me. Again, I get it. It's 2019. Yo, OG, come on. What's so ill about that line? He tried to glaze me. It's kind of corny. I get again how in 2019 that line could be corny, but in 1986, over Fonda Ray's Over Like a Fat Rat, I was like, yo, this nigga just said he tried to glaze me. Like that was just the greatest thing to me ever. So I get it. I'm always talking with younger folk on Twitter. They be like, OG, we respect you, but some of y'all 80s hip hop was corny. And I'm like, I get it. Looking back at it, I can see that, but understand that at the time.
At
that time, this was unbelievable stuff that was going on. So just keep about that. The last one I got for Ryan, again, as we said, there's so many. Paid in full. You know what I mean? Thinking of a master plan, because ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand. So I dig into my pockets. All my money spent. So I dig deeper, but still coming up with lint. You know what I mean? So I start my mission, leave my residence, thinking how could I get some dead presidents? Now again, this is 1986. I'm 12 years old. I don't know what a dead president is. This is after the movie's been out. This isn't after everybody talks about dead presidents. So I'm stuck like scratching my head like, what the nigga gonna leave his house? What is a dead president?
It took me a while to figure that out too, until I was a little bit older. Then I was like, okay.
Right. Now again, I understand everybody now is laughing, but again, I'm a 12-year-old kid, and nobody's ever said dead presidents around me before. People say, yo, I need money. That's it. So I don't even know when I came around to understand that line, but it was just the whole concept of it. And the funny thing is where's this album cover? Everything I can't pay them full. For people who may not know it, at the bottom right here was the Paid in Full posse from Brooklyn. The original 50 Cent, who's a pickup kid, is in this picture. But I remember being in Brooklyn for the summer and me looking at this picture, me writing down on a piece of paper all the gear that I wanted to go back to school the next year that I had no money for. So Paid in Full, this intro line spoke to me because it's like, yo, I want all this fly stuff and I don't even got $1. Like, so the whole, because ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand. Hell, I'm 45 and I feel that way sometimes.
Yo, I got to add on to that, like that dig deeper. Like, we all been there. You dig into your pocket and you pull out lint. Like, the fact that somebody actually put that in their rhyme.
Right.
I remember hearing that and I was like, why?
It did it in 1986. Like, they're taking us back to 1986, man. Like, you know, so that was my thing with Rod. Angie, who's your last top 5? And if
we're on number 5.
If you have an honorable mention, you could do them too.
Okay, I'll do that one time. I told you my 5 fluctuates, so I ended up going with Inspector Deck.
Woo!
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, because he had some of the best ones. Like, again, I try not to pick like the ones that are the most obvious, but like obviously like him on Triumph was just like the illest on there. And then, you know, I like how he started on Protect Your Neck, you know, with the whole I smoke on the mic like smoking Joe Frazier, the Hellraiser raising hell with the flavor, terrorize the jams like troops in Pakistan, swinging through your town like your neighborhood Spider-Man. Like that whole little part, like I just like he always starts off when it's his verse, he just comes on real like he just has some of the best ones. It's just like as soon as he gets on there, immediately you're already like, you know, just blown, like mind blown. And then just like a quick one, like a little bar he had on Guillotine where he said, poisonous paragraph, smash your porno, I'm sorry, smash your phonograph in half. I just like that little bar too.
Warpath. Oh,
right. I didn't mean to say porno, that just came out too fast. So yeah, I mean, because I know like with Wu, like a lot of people, it's always gonna be like Ghostface or Raekwon or whatever, but like yeah, Jizza and Inspector Deck, they be having
Jizza and Inspector, yeah, exactly. Those are my top 2.
Yeah.
Dirty somewhere. I can't. Dirty fluctuates in there too.
They all bring something to the table, but you know, it's just like when you hear them on different tracks, that's why it's hard to narrow it down, because you listen to one of them and then you're just like, oh, hold on, and then you'll hear another one of them on, and they'll have like a tight verse on another joint. So it's kind of hard to just pick like the one that you like out of all of them the most. And this one's just gonna be kind of random, just because it just kind of hit me a couple of days ago. So for the honorable mention, I know nobody would think I would pick this, but I went with Rockness Monster, because he just had a couple of bars on the joint Hell's Kitchen, and I just think that these bars just went with the theme of the track, where he said Hell's Angels gonna do my bidding like I'm Charlie's Devil's Rejects. Bars like that will go over people's heads and they're not gonna know. And then the other one was, none of you want to dance with the devil, save me the last dance. And I like those bars, like I said, because the track is called Hell's Kitchen. So I felt like it just kind of went together for that particular joint. So that was just my last one. Like I said, I probably threw people off, but that's my last.
Dope. Ev, who you got for your last 2?
My last 2. This is in no particular order, but this particular MC, and I'm doing MCs. This particular MC, I feel like could out rhyme a whole lot of people, and this is Lauryn Hill. A lot of cats, you know, a lot of times people just kind of like, you know, forget about, you know, the women in there, like they're not MCs. I'm not talking about female MCs. I'm just doing MCs, just an MC. But I have to do her verse for How Many Mics.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Fucking bananas. Bananas. I get mad frustrated when I rhyme, thinking of all them kids that try to do this for all the wrong reasons. Seasons change, mad things rearrange, but it all stays the same like the love Doctor Strange. I'm tame like the rapper. Get red like the snapper when they do that. Got your whole block saying true that. If only they knew that it was you who was a regular. Sold your soul for some secular music that's whack, plus you use that. Loop over and over, claiming that you got a new style. Your attempts are futile. Ooh, child. You're puerile, brainwaves and sterile. You can't create, you just wait to tape my tape. You just wait to take my tape, laced with malice. Hands get callous from gripping microphones from here to Dallas. Go ask Alice if you don't believe me. I get inner visions like Stevie. See me ascend from the chalice like the weed bee. Indeed be like Khalil Muhammad. Now, that's deep. For whatever year this came out, that shit is deep. Indeed be like Khalil Muhammad. MCs make me vomit. I get controversial. Freaking style with no rehearsal. Ooh, contraire, mon frere. Don't you even go there. Me without a mic is like a beat without a snare. I dare to tear into your ego. We go way back like some ganja and Palico or Calico vision. My mind makes incision with your anatomy. This is my shit. And I back this with Deuteronomy or Leviticus. God made this word. You can't get with this. Sweet like licorice, dangerous like syphilis. Oh, it's another verse that from top to bottom, not Prep Hollows will give you that whole verse, but from top to bottom is just flawless. There is no weak spots. There is no like, it's a flawless verse. And she sets off that album with that fucking verse, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill, man. I miss her. I miss her. She's on a different writing style right now, and I get it. You know, sometimes you gotta switch it up, but I miss Lauryn that just fell into these pockets like that. You know, right now she's doing like some heavy wordplay stuff. It's a lot of words in there, and it's not enough real clarity. But Lauryn just in the pocket, she's untouchable.
Right. Nah, that's facts. That's facts right there. Penny, who's your last two? If you got your last five in the honorable mention.
Yeah, my number 5 MC is Jay-Z. So what did I put down for him? Again, I think the dude has a crazy body of work. So I think he was the first one to say still spending money from 88. No?
Yeah, that's Jay. Still spending money from 88.
I also love in 22 Twos, no question. Jay-Z got too many answers. I just love that line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I talk jewels and spit diamonds, all cherry like a hymen. Do you know what a hymen is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm rhyming remarkable timing, caviar and silk dreams, while voice is linen, spitting venom up in minds of young women. Make thoughts to think thoughts type similar. Might you remember? My shit is cold like December. Crazy. This one is dope. Get your weight up. I'm 2.2 pounds. You're barely 125 grams. Wouldn't expect y'all to understand this money. You understand this money? About a kilo to an eighth of a kilo. This man, as a youth, explosively busting off the roof, shooting guards like Kobe. Come on. And a couple that like always will stick in my ribs forever is when the grass is cut, the snakes will show. And what you eat don't make me shit.
Yeah.
That's one of the realest lines ever.
Yo, and just another honorable mention for Jay for me is just, you know, from I think it's the Takeover, you know, what do you say? A wise man once told me don't argue with fools because people from a distance can't tell who is who. And it's like, that's the thing with Jay. Jay to me is like The Wire. Like, I use Jay-Z rhymes just in everyday life. Like, and especially on Twitter. Like, I'll always quote that because I'm like, I'm not arguing with you fools. Because somebody jumping in this conversation ain't going to know who is who. They going to think I'm the one who says some old
Y'all be
dumb
going through some Twitter wars. I be seeing them and I be scrolling down. I'm like, I'm not even going to get involved in that one. I kind of stay out of when I see it. People get heated on there.
Yeah, yo, it's getting easy this year. I blocked so many people this year. It's just easy. Like, I got so many. Yeah, literally, I literally block people at least 2-3 times a day. So, you know, I'm trying to calm that down.
I'll see it and I'll be like, oh, there they go.
Yeah, and I tried, and most of the time I'm not, because I always tell people I'm on Twitter to discuss music. I'm not here to debate it. Like, I'm not, like, I don't care if you tell me your favorite rapper is freaking Greg Nice. I don't agree, but why? Like, but I'm not gonna try to convince you it shouldn't be. in that it should be who I. It's like, yo, let's discuss music, but nobody really understands the difference between the two.
People get mad when you don't agree with them. People don't know how to have a tasteful debate where you guys can agree to disagree, but some people just get real upset if you don't think the same way as them, and then it just gets out of hand because then one of the people will just start saying something disrespectful, and then it just pops off and turns into something worse.
But that's why I tell people, you gotta say, I look at my timeline like this is my house. You know what I mean? So when you come to my house, you playing by my rules. You can go on your timeline and talk all the dumb shit you want all day long. But if you come to my house, like I said, we could be respectful, but the second you call me a hater, you're blocked. That's simple. Use your words, grown folk. Use your words. Just because I don't like it, don't mean that I'm hating. And the great part is because I'm always trying to educate. It's the educator in me. You know, so if you're a younger cat, I want to educate you and let's be respectful. Like you said, like, yo, Kill, I think you should check this out. Send me a link. I'll send you a link and we could agree to disagree and walk away. But when it gets to the point like, yo, you deaf, you can't hear what I'm hearing, block. There you go. No, I'm not deaf. I just don't like it. You know what I mean? So I always tell folks, we got to take control of our timeline because people, like I said, it's your house. You won't let nobody just run up in your crib and you know, do a Rick James like fuck your couch. So you ain't coming up on my timeline like just starting no wild stuff. The last person I've got, people have mentioned.
Yo, let me throw in a couple of gems.
Oh, my bad. I apologize, Penny. What you got?
Cube.
Yeah.
Ice Cube is my honorable mention. I can't dig a pig, so I drop the dogs. Sweat them like sweat hogs. Man, to me, because I'm a West Coast dude, and also an East Coast dude, Worried But Who the Fuck is Herb is one of the best lines ever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. That shit used to crack me up, still does. To me, a song, I'm not going to do the song, I'm just talking about it. A song that's really, really dope that like you understand if you're from LA and you play dice is What They're Hidden For. Like all the little things in there, like beautiful song. And of course, my summer vacation. There's a bunch of lines, but the most important thing to say about that is I can actually say that about like 3 different people that I know, and 2 of them are not around anymore. It's just I'm just one person, you know, from that area. Just that song is so specific. You know what I mean? My summer vacations is just so on point.
Yeah, no doubt. Cube is definitely slept on. It's funny, I would expect to see him in a lot more people's top 10s and I don't. But I've got a couple of philosophies on that. But last person I got up off my GOAT list is KRS, who comes in at my number 5 spot. Off the Bridges over Penny, like you talked about earlier, but my line was Manhattan keeps on making it, Brooklyn keeps on taking it, Bronx keeps creating it, and Queens keeps on faking it. And if you really know about the Bridges over the whole, you gotta hit. There you go, Penny. You gotta hit him with the red alert. Yeah, like that's what you for that joint. You need this right here. You need his man and his music. A man and his music. Like that year ain't on Criminal Minded. That was off the 12-inch of the Bridges over back in the day. So most people, if I don't hit a year after it don't got the same feeling. Because Red used to, you know, what a lot of people don't know, and I found this out from reading. Y'all know I'm an avid bookworm. Check the Technique, Brian Coleman. Not this episode, but the very first one. Or he had a first book called Rakim Told Me. Then it was Check the Technique 1. It's Check the Technique 2. These are basically like the makings of our favorite hip-hop albums from the 80s and the 90s. And they were talking about how Chris was talking about with Criminal Minded. He literally would go from the studio. It wouldn't even be on wax Shack. He would just take it straight up to the radio station and play it straight from the studio. Like that's how things were back in the day. So that year with Red Alert is huge. Simple line, like Penny said, off my philosophy, but they're all just wick, whack. You know what I'm saying? I get it. 2019 sounds corny. Wick, whack, kill. Come on. Again, at that time, yo, and the beat drops, whack, all just wick, whack. Yeah. And I think you said this too, Payne. If not, I'll play the 9 and you play the target. You all know my name, so I guess we'll just start it. And then the other line that you said, Penny, the whole, you know, you got to have style, learn to be original. because everybody's gonna want to dish you. Like you said, that's like a biblical commandment of hip hop. You know what I mean? You gotta have style and learn to be original. Like somebody told me today, I was talking with somebody on Twitter and I was telling them, he was saying how everybody sounds alike. And one day I let my teens get in my car and he was playing me stuff. I thought he was playing me multiple people. No, I thought he was playing me one person. He actually was playing me multiple people. And I was like, yeah, well, you know, dude style, just I ain't feeling it. And he was like, nah, old head, like, nah, Mr. Kill, I played you 4 different people. And I'm like, why they all sound alike? Like I literally thought I was listening to the same person. Like every beat sounded alike. Like you couldn't get in nobody's car and have them play you EPMD, Eric B. and Rakim, Public Enemy, and Bismarck and think you were listening to the same person. Like you just couldn't. You know, you couldn't get in somebody's car in the 90s and listen to Big, listen to Jay, listen to Buckshot Shorty, and listen to Tech and think you all listening to the same person. So that's a problem, that you could sit in my car and play me 4 different rappers and they all got the same beat and they all sound the same. My honorable mention, who I believe in my heart of hearts probably has from 2000 on the most hip hop quotables of any MC ever in punchlines, Pusha T. Now, a lot of people don't like Pusha. I get it. All he talks about, I get it. All he talks about is drugs. But he has found a way to reinvent talking about drugs for 20 years in a way that I've never seen done before. And I'm not tired of it either. Like, literally, he just had a 5 mic album, in my opinion, Daytona last year. This dude has found a new way to talk about cocaine. I don't know how he does it. One of my lines ran off on the plug too like True Boy. Just off of If You Know, You Know. That's off of Daytona. And my young boy, Mousse, who I'm working with, producing for, he's 17. Shout out to him. He just graduated from high school today. And I'm playing him some Pusha stuff because he's from VA. He knows Pusha. But we're going over line by line. And he was like, I don't get it. And I was like, you don't really know Daylight. I'm like, True Boy, you know what I mean? He was plug 2. He's saying I ran off on the plug 2 like True Boy. Like, again, mind-blowing. Again, off of What Will Meek Do? He says, you know, Angel on the shoulder, what we do, Devil on the other, what will Meek do? Papa Willie. Tell the judge to Akinelli. Middle finger out the ghost, Machiavelli. So again, Mousse's young, he didn't get it. He was like, I don't get who's Akinelli. I'm like, okay, let me
put it in your mouth.
Akinelli song out called Put It In Your Mouth. So he's eloquently telling the judge to suck a dick, you know, but in a nice way. Telling the judge to Akinelli. The fact that your mind can come up with, like, I find writers, you know, even though I write, I guess I find MCs and songwriters. I don't know how y'all do it. Like, how are you sitting around thinking, yo, I want to say, how can I find a nicer way to say give, like, suck dick? How do I do that? Oh, that's the Akinelli. Like,
that's the study too. That's the study to me. That's the difference between you got your rapper, your MC, and your lyricist. The lyricists will do that kind of a study and will find different ways to say some shit like Akinelli.
Right. Like, it literally is just like, when I heard it, I was like, this fool's incredible. Oh God, this was off a mixtape. I can't remember what it was, but he said niggas running a race just to settle for Solange. And I never got that line. And my man Mills had to hit me. We was talking about We Both Love Pusha. And he was like, he's saying you're coming in second. You're running a race to settle for Solange. Because Beyonce's always gonna be number 1. So if you become Solange, then you're number 2. So why are you even running this race with me just to settle for Solange? Like, again, come on, y'all. One of the clip songs, he said, some called it crack, I called it Diet Coke. Oh, like, yo, Diet Coke, like crack, you lose weight by doing crack. Diet Coke, you lose. Again, he said, yo, I got banana clips for all you curious Georgians. Dad, call me subwoofer because I pump bass jack. Like, call me subwoofer. Like, I ain't a drug dealer, my nigga. Call me a subwoofer because I pump bass. One of the last ones, the nigga said, the realest nigga to marathon on the Rico, the last cocaine superhero. I got the cape on to measure kilos. The villains wins the evolution of Nino. Like, it's just like, it's so, there's literally so many that I could go on with Pusha for hours. But these are some of the dopest highlights from our top 5 MCs with an honorable mention. Angie, give them all your information, where you're writing, where they can get at you, where to follow you, everything that you're working on.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram. It's under Hypnotik1, HIPNOTIK1. I've been using that since like 2003, so that's my name on everything. And you could read my reviews and my write-ups on weeklyrapgods.com and insomniacmagazine.com. And I'm gonna eventually be starting to do some other stuff, but for now, that's where you can reach me: Instagram, Twitter, and then Weekly Rap Gods and Insomniac Magazine.
Dope, dope, dope. Ev, give him everything, good brother.
Before I do that, I never gave my honorable mentions. I'm just gonna say the names.
Oh.
No, you good. No, I'm not gonna say the verses, just the names. These are people in their prime. I think Keith Murray in his prime was ridiculous. OC, Pasta News, and I gotta say Common in his prime. I don't know where Common is at right now. Not sure what he's doing, but Common in his prime, you know, he was actually like, you know, pretty nasty cat, and I think he's still in there. You can find me at Everett Cease on Instagram. I think it's Mental151 on Twitter. And yeah, it's some stuff that's coming down the pipeline on this exact topic, but I can't speak on it yet because we're still kind of putting some stuff together. So once that happens, I'll be back with some actual raw information.
All right, no doubt. Penny, give him everything, good brother. Just so everybody understands, this is my guy, Penny, an accomplished actor. You know, it was funny. I always tell the story. My wife loves Nashville, so she's watching the episode of Nashville. He's in the episode. I'm like, oh, that's my guy. Like, so accomplished actor. What do you got going on right now, Penny?
Good looking out, man. You know, like I said, like I told you earlier, I'm just a lot of interviews right now. So, you know, there's some things coming down, I think. But for right now, nothing I can really mention. The last flicks I was in when probably, you know, on Netflix or on DVD, that Here and Now with Sarah Jessica Parker and Common, and First We Take Brooklyn. Harvey Keitel's in it. So that's it. I'm only on Twitter, and only hip hop, and only discussions, no debates.
All right. What's your Twitter handle?
Oh, Penny Butter _ Butter.
All right. No doubt, no doubt. You already know this with me, Kill889, willmakebeatsforfood.com. Great thing I want to share. One of the things today I just found out, I'm gonna be Apartment 5B. We're gonna be doing a partnership with Howard Theater here in DC. We're gonna be doing ticket giveaways through Apartment 5B, which is a great, you know, it's just moving up in another direction, getting sponsorships and things like that. So one of the first ticket giveaways we'll be doing it. I can't do it tonight because I don't have tickets yet. Will happen next week, but I'll be giving them out all week on Twitter. Griselda, Conway, Benny the Butcher, West Side Gun at the Howard Theater next Thursday, June 13th. We're giving away. I'll be giving away tickets all week on Twitter for that. So if you rock with Griselda, you in the DMV, if you want to drive down for the day, we're gonna be doing a meetup before, after, whatever. You know, get at me. But that's what it is for me. I appreciate you guys taking time out today, Evan and y'all on the West Coast. So I know it's bright and early out there. Me, you know, out here on the late night. So I appreciate y'all taking time for this, man. I will catch y'all next week, y'all.
Thank
Peace,
you.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye.